Welcome back to Cami Designs. This is part 2 of the short sock video. The last one we did the rib with the cast on and showing you the rib, and then I told you I do one row with the smaller needles and then I switch to the larger needles. And so today I'm going to show you this part here and then doing this heel flap. Okay, so I haven't switched to my larger needles yet. I will show you how I do that. So I got 2 stitches left to finish of my short needles here. And today I remembered my light on, so that is on. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off right now because I'm just going to switch to my new needle and it will fall if I use it now. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my new needle. I'm not going to work with this one here. I'm just going to go with the bigger one and knit my stitches onto my new needle. And I want to knit about 1/2 inch. I think it's about 5 rounds of this regular knit rounds. And yes, I have a band-aid on my finger because this morning I was getting my son waffles and I cut myself on the waffle box. With the glue they taped down when I opened it. So, I have a band-aid on so I don't bleed all over my work. And I'll have to start pulling this so then my stitches aren't stretched so far. Let me get some more play here. Oops, I almost lost that stitch marker. And I like to have 2 different color stitch markers when I'm working with socks. So then I know the purple one is my start of my round, and then this one will be my next divider when I need to do a divider. And I'll show you that later on. And I'll add my purple stitch marker back once I get to the end. Here. I'm getting there. Ooh, I almost lost a stitch. Those are not fun. Okay, here we go. And I'm being quiet today. Don't really have much to say, I guess. Except my band-aid's coming up and it's sticking to my yarn. I'm almost done. And then I won't need this smaller needle at all for the rest of the sock. I just do it for the rib on the cuff so then it holds a little better to your ankle. And I will also show you another little trick I like to do. If you think this is going to be too big or too small. I don't think I just dropped a stitch. I hope not. I really hope not. Let's see. It doesn't look like it. It does not look like it. Phew. Okay. So, I'm done with this needle. This can get put away. And you'll see this little bag here. I made this. I seen a video, I think on Pinterest, on how to make these little bags. And so I just sewed myself a little bag to keep all my sock stuff in. I have markers so I can make notes and all that. But another little trick here is these tubings. I've seen them on other videos. And what you do is you push them on the end of your needle here. You want to really shove it on. And it will go back. It will shrink back eventually. And see how I can't pull it off? And then I can do the same thing on this other one. And this is a shorter one. You can cut them different sizes. They come in a big ball of them. And it's not coming off. But now, if you need to try this sock on, you can move the stitches onto this. Some of them get a little stuck on the edges. But then you can stretch it and it's wider. Then you can slide your foot in to test and see if it's the right size and it's going to fit. And that also works really well when you're trying it on to get the length of the sock. So you can keep trying it on. But enough about that. And to pop them off, I just put my nail there and just kind of pull them off there. Like that. But now that I'm on to my larger needles, now I'm just going to knit a bunch of rounds till I can measure right underneath the rib here, a 1/2 inch. So like I said, I'm just knitting for a 1/2 inch. And I've already done 2 rounds, so I think I only need 5. So it should go pretty fast since I'm just knitting the whole thing. Okay, there's another one down. And like I said, this sock goes really fast. And I know some people do taller socks, but I have a hard time doing that, especially when I'm doing the cuff down and not the toe up. If I do the toe up, I can use as much yarn as I want. But when down, I'm like, when I'm doing cuff down, I'm like, am I going to have enough yarn for another sock? So, I like these short socks. I have some longer ones, but these short ones I like because they work up fast and are comfortable. And my husband will put up the pattern, the written part, somewhere in the middle of the video, and then maybe at the end again. So if you did not watch the whole video, the pattern is shown at the end. So if you want to watch it all the way through to the end, and you can then pause it and write it down. And then if you watch the videos, you can get the rest of the pattern. Or you can wait until I post it on Ravelry, if I can pronounce it correctly. And almost done with this round already. And this video is getting long. So I'm just going to pause this here and do the rest of my rounds, and then I'll be back to show you the heel flap. So I got my 5 rows, which is about a 1/2 inch. I measured it here, about a 1/2 inch from the bottom of my rib here to where I'm going to start the heel flap. So now with the heel flap, you're going to want to move half your stitches onto something else. So what I use, and hopefully it is in here, and I did not see it. Okay, so I'm just going to use something different today. So I usually use a hook, like it looks like a giant clip, but I don't know where it went. And my husband's going to say that I'm always losing things because I don't put things back where they go.
Lie detector test determined you are telling the truth.
that is true. I do lose a lot of things. Okay, so I'm going to take this stitch marker off for now. And I'm going to move half the stitches, which is 32 stitches, onto here. And I'm not going to knit them or anything like that. Let's see. I'm just going to transfer them over. And you can see I'm using the smaller needle here. And I'm really wondering where my clip went, because I don't remember where I used it last. So when I'm done with this video, that's where I'm going to be looking for that. And you can slide them onto this if you want, and you can tie it in a knot. So let's count. Let's see. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and you've got 19 there. Oh, I'm looking for my yarn. It's over here. I don't need my yarn. 1, 22, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 29, 30, 31, and 32. Okay, so those are on that, and they're just going to stay on that. You can put little stoppers on the end so they don't fall off, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to find my my little stitch thing when I'm done, my little stitch holder. So now what you want to do is you want to slip this first one and then purl across, slip, then turn it, and you're just going to keep working back and forth. And I'm going to need another thing for this, another needle, but I would like my the right size needle, so I've got to dig those out. Let's get here, and I want my 2.5 millimeter, which are these orange ones. And I'm just going to use 2 of them because I'm just going to knit back and forth. Ugh, that's messy. Okay. So, first I'm going to purl off of this here. So I'm going to slip one like that. I'm not going to do anything with it. And then I'm going to purl these. And yes, you're going to want to keep track of how many rows you do. And I could show you my little trick on how I do that. I usually write out 31 because I'm going to need 31 rows. And then I use a little post-it and move it along as I go. Or if you have a stitch counter and you're good at actually clicking it or turning it when you do one, I am not. So I have to just use a post-it and a notepad. And I tend to use, because I write all my patterns in a notebook, I just have one page that has just the numbers wrote out, and I just use that one over and over again. You can see I'm almost done with this purl side. Ooh, almost dropped a stitch. And my band-aid is messing up. So I'm going to have to take that off here pretty soon. I could use one of my son's Minecraft band-aids. Probably would have held a lot better. And it'll take some getting used to working with these other stitches not being used because this kind of gets in the way. So there, I did one purl side, And now I will flip it. I gotta take this off. Okay. And now I will show you knit one. And I slip the knit one like I'm going to knit it, but I just slip it off and then knit across. And yes, I could do the whole sock on double pointed needles because that's what I use the most of. But when I'm doing the foot part and it's all in the round, it goes, for me, it goes a lot faster using a circular needle. But if all you have is double pointed needles, you can do this whole sock with double pointed needles with no problem. Or if you're using like these giant needles, all you have to do is move the stitches you're not using to the long part and just use the needle part. Okay, and this is the first knit row I did, or the second row altogether. There, and then I'll turn it and I'll just slip the first one and then purl because it's on the back side. And let me get my notepad here and I will show you how I do the rest, how I keep track of my stitches. I just have all my things and I have a little P underneath it and a knit. So P for purl, knit. So I just did that one, so I will be on to this one. And then here's my heel turn, which I will do that in the next video. So I'm going to cover it so you don't see it right now. But, so this is what I do. And then I do another purl one. And that is row 31. And it'll just be a long flap. And it'll look weird because this one is still going to stay short. It's only going to stay here. And then this is going to be a long flap. And then the next video, I will show you how to do this heel turn. And I got a comment from a lady. And so I will show you how I do the heel turn. It seems a lot more complicated than what it is. But I struggled with it at first because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I'll show you how I do it to make that little heel turn. And then I will show you also how to pick up the stitches along the heel flap and do this decrease so you can get to your round of your foot. And I hope you enjoyed it and have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And that's it. So have a wonderful day and thank you for watching. Bye!